Good morning. It's Monday. We've made it back to another week. So here we go. Monday. Yesterday I was totally lazy, not feeling well, unfortunately. So I was not here today. I am back. We're going to talk a little bit, watching that bat signal go up, talking a little bit about how we value ourselves, overestimating, underestimating, somewhere in the middle. Who are we? How do we judge ourselves? We're judging other people. We're reflections of what we put out, right? So I see someone. I can't see who you are because I don't have my glasses. I've been out mowing the lawn. My eyes are not functioning. Is it Tammy? So come on in. We're talking about, I pulled a card, and I've pulled this card before. Kuan Yin is very, very much very active in my world, and many of us are experiencing a lot of Kuan Yin energy now as this divine feminine is becoming stronger and stronger. So there you are, Tammy. Good morning. So I often feel drawn to the Kuan Yin deck only because it helps me to get the messages, kind of understand well what's going on in my world, and then what I can bring out for all of you. So this bamboo moon, we brought it out a while back because it's all about divine timing. So we're in that divine timing, but there's more to that message. The last time I brought out the bamboo moon, it was about how bamboo waits and it's patient. And then all of a sudden, when it feels well grounded, it just takes off. And that's really important for us to remember in our own lives. So I'm going to try to bring that message out here in just a few minutes. I try to give people, I was a little bit early if I say I'm coming in at noon. So I try to give people a chance to catch up to me, get 4 or 5 in here before we take off too much. So how was your day, Tammy? How was your weekend? How are things going within your world? I know sometimes the world is, the energy that I'm experiencing and that many people that I talk to are experiencing is not easy. It's been a very difficult, very heavy couple of weeks. And a lot of releasing is needed. A lot of, this stuff coming up and going, oh gosh, I thought I'd already taken care of that. I thought I was already healed, and it's still coming up, and it's still coming up. And the collective consciousness, there's so much coming up to the surface for us to then say, oh, hello, okay, I still need some work here. I'm going to do some healing here. So I don't know how you're feeling, but if you're experiencing that, you are not alone. Glad you had a wonderful weekend. Got things done. You know what? I would have gotten a lot done, but I have this guy in my life who likes to just take off climbing up the side of a mountain. Hi, Stefan. And we went up the side of a mountain on Saturday. And it was not an easy hike. I have not been hiking in a while. I'm kind of out of shape. It's been winter, and so it's time to get back out there. So there's apparently this beautiful waterfall. He promised me these 3 huge, massive trees, and we did finally get to those massive trees. That was about 3 miles up the mountain, and we didn't turn around. We just kept going. And it was not what I would call an easy hike, literally up. Every now and then it would level out, and then it's up again, and little rocks, and you're looking over this side, and a long ways down, and it was really tough. It's 4 miles to get to that waterfall. I made it 3 3/4 of the way, and he had taken off ahead of me, and he took the water with him, and it didn't take long before I was walking and trying to keep climbing, and my heart was not recovering properly from lack of water. And so I finally slowed down and listened to my heart. So 3 3/4 of the way up the mountain. So I clocked about 9 miles that day on Saturday. So Sunday I didn't get much done. It's a lot of work. So it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I'm loving these mountains, and it's when you try to go climbing 4 miles up, it's a lot of work going up all the time. It's hard on the heart. Hi, Stefan. Hi, Rebecca. Good morning. Letting you guys gather. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's always worth it. But there's another place that we go here that a lot of the tourists don't know about that has the most magical waterfall. It's about 2 miles up. It's a workout. And there's some places where the trail kind of falls off, and you have to really work at it. When he took me there last year, I was like, wow, that was a job getting to that waterfall. But man, when I got to it, it was amazing. It was worth every second. I could just stand under that and feel the energy. It just rebooted me as soon as I got to it. I'm sure this one would have done the same thing for me had I been able to make it that last 1/4 of a mile. But the people that were coming back said, as hard as this trail has been for you, for anyone, as difficult as this trail has been, that last quarter of a mile is tougher than anything. And I thought, geez, if my heart's not taking it now, another quarter of a mile, and it gets really, really rough. And so I sat down for a rest. And guess who came back and found me? And he said, I'll go back if you want to. We'll go back up that last quarter of a mile. And I was like, no, I think it's okay. I walked down that mountain on feet that felt like they were falling off. So it was painful. So that was enough. That was enough for me that first time. The sweet kitty is with us today also. You know what you're hearing? There is a kitty. There's 2 kitties up here with me. We have this little 3-legged miniature pinscher who is, when her girl leaves her to go anywhere, they've gone someplace today, and she's down in the bedroom, and she's very angry. So you can hear that little dog squealing, too. She's mad that she got left behind. So you probably hear a little bit of noise. The big collie has been barking all morning, too. So I apologize. We're going to get going. But there's a lot of sound effects today. They're still working on the park that's right here. I don't know what they're doing. They're cutting down trees to make sidewalks is what it looks like to me. It kind of upsets me. But I really love trees. When you take down trees that are healthy, it really gets me. It really upsets me. So I'm not very happy with what they're doing down there. And they're making a lot of noise. They're making a whole lot of noise. Right now, must be, it's noon. They just went on a lunch break. So we got a little peace and quiet. Hi, Laura, your kitty trying to crawl up the wall. My kitty has now decided that's actually Caroline's kitty, by the way. It's not my kitty. He will probably start yowling any minute because every time I get going on this and I close that door down there, that's about the time he decides it's time to go out the door. There he goes. So you're exactly right, Tammy. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was a painful hike, and it took a day of recovery. So yesterday I didn't do much anything other than go to the grocery. I was like crash and burn. So it's been where we started today, and we're going to go back into it. I was really feeling drawn to the Kuan Yin deck, and this card comes up, and it absolutely pulled me back to it because, and there's a reason for it. That bamboo moon is all about growth. And it's all about divine timing. And it's about, as I went further into it today, it was like, okay, what did I miss the last time we pulled this card? Because the last time we had it, it was about trusting in divine timing and knowing that everything is working in your favor. This one today is more, how are you judging yourself? We're mirrors to the world, right? We can be very hard on those around us. We can also be sometimes we're harder often, and we're harder on our own selves than we are on those people around us, right? That we let them get away with anything. But us, forget it. Not going to let us get away with anything. So we can be very difficult with ourselves. And so that card is all about, there is nobody's standing around on the other side judging your decisions, judging your progress. This is all your experience, however you want to go about doing it. And stop being so hard on yourself. You are learning all the time. Every experience that is created in your existence is an opportunity to learn something, an opportunity for soul growth. Those people that come into your world that sometimes aren't so pleasant to have around, more opportunity. Every part of this existence. I was thinking a lot about that this past weekend. We can be so judgmental, and we can be even, I think that the more spiritual we become, sometimes we can be, or the more religious. There's a lot of bypassing going on. And so why do we bypass? Why do we choose not to dig deeper into those emotions that are coming up right now? What is it about us that keeps us from wanting to face it? Are we afraid? Are we afraid of how difficult it might be if we go deeply into those deep, painful emotions? Are we afraid that maybe we won't come back out? Are we afraid that if we go there, people will see us as weak or less than what we want the world to see? And oftentimes that comes up too. We put out this persona, people, that person's really got it together. I'm going to go to them because they got it together. We think that we have to be perfect to get out in the world and to do the kind of spiritual work that we do, to try to do energy work, to try to do healing work, and that's not true. We're in it right along with everyone else. I'm going through it right along with you. There's nothing that's higher, better in any way. Sometimes we're further down the path than somebody else. Sometimes they're further down the path than we are. And there's no judgment in where we are on the path. And there's no judgment in the experiences that we choose to have. It's all just about learning, and it's about growing and expanding and having an experience here. Maybe some things that your soul has never had a chance to experience before, so that you can grow from it. So please be easy on yourself. Please stop beating yourself up over what you would consider mistakes or failures or weakness. I can be the worst. If I have a goodie, if I have a treat, I would really like to get back down, maybe another 10 pounds, something like that. In the winter, COVID came along, and I can be very hard on myself. I can be the worst, like somebody else is going along. I'm like, oh, no, you look great. That looks great on you. And I see it. I'm like, they look great, and they could be any size, and I would still compliment how beautiful they are, how great they are. And yet I will stand in front of the mirror and start picking myself apart, because that's what we're good at, right? Or sometimes I'll just sit here in my own little space and say, well, you really messed that up. I start talking down to myself. I start listening to that voice, that little voice that can get in the ear sometimes, that can be very difficult and very painful to listen to. And we all have that voice. So I feel like this card today is our reminder, my reminder, your reminder, group reminder, to remember to give yourself the same empathy that you're giving to other people. Give yourself the same consideration, the same encouragement, the same love, unconditional love. Look at yourself and say, I love you. I wasn't like this when I was little. If I had any little chub on me and I was in a bathing suit, I remember my oldest, she was the chunkiest little baby. She was just a chunk muffin. She was so cute. My youngest was a chunk muffin too, and she's this big around now. When they would put on a bathing suit, they would just stand in front of the mirror like they looked so great. Oh gosh, look at that, so cute. They would just spin around, and there was nothing about them that would look and say, well, I don't look good in a bathing suit, I'm not going to go out in public. There was nothing about them that would beat themselves up, or, they just spun around, and they laughed and they giggled, and they loved being in that bathing suit, and they went and enjoyed themselves in that water, and they weren't sitting there thinking about what anybody else thought. I think oftentimes we forget as we get older, we were our best versions of ourselves. Mostly, we were the very best versions of ourselves when we were very young, because we didn't have all this self-deprecation, these things that we told ourselves that we weren't capable of, or we didn't hold ourselves back. We just were like gung-ho, let's go, let's do it, let's go to the beach, let's do this, let's do that. We had this beautiful imagination. We created, we doodled, we daydreamed, we believed in fairies, we believed in that loved one that was right by our sides. We believed that they were there, and so they were. Of course they were. So when we come back to that sweetest part of ourselves, we start loving ourselves the way that we did when we were little like that, the way that I wish all of our parents did, with unconditional love, no judgment. Go back to that little person. You got to be the grown-up. If you didn't receive that unconditional love when you were little, you still need it. There's no bypassing that. You can't bypass it. You have to go back and learn to give it to yourself. That little child is still in there, still waiting for that love, that unconditional love, that encouragement, that chance to just be a kid. Excuse me, because that brought me to a place where that's where my emotion is coming from. I'm sorry, I cry easily these days. My youngest, yesterday, I took her out in the car for a while, and she said, she's only 14, and she said, sometimes I forget that I'm still a kid. She said, and that she's been like this since she was born. Very old soul. At 9, she lost her daddy. He wasn't her birth father, but Steve was her daddy. And she was only 9 years old when she lost him. And when she was 9, she looked at me on the day that he passed, and she started crying, and she said, will you get me another daddy? And at that point, I was like a million miles away from ever thinking about dating anyone. And I realize now when I think back to that, that she wanted another daddy because what she did instead, she had to be the grown up at that point. She decided, well, if I didn't have him to take care of me, then she was going to have to do it. All of my kids pretty much did that. They're amazing souls. So I was looking at her yesterday, sitting there, 14 years old. She might as well be 60. She's older. She's much more mature than me. Thinking, man, I wish I could give her back that childhood. I wish I could let her see how amazing, what a beautiful little bubbly little, my gosh, when she was little, so beautiful, so sweet, so open. Those eyes were like the eyes of an angel. And she just, everything excited her. It was so easy to please her. And I look at her now and how she's had to work through some real brokenness already at such a young age. She's had to go through such pain. And I look at you, and I see you the same way that I see her. And I look at me in the mirror, and I see me the same way I see her. Is all of us, we're just these little children walking around on the planet. We've all gone through such difficult times. Most of us as empaths, we really set ourselves up for some difficult stuff. And so, could you please look at me right now? See yourself. See yourself as this perfect little soul, beautiful, amazing angel that came to the earth to make a difference. That little girl, the day after, I think it was the second night, the first night I just took Xanax and slept it off. The first night that he passed, the second night, she came in and she climbed into bed beside me. And she said, I don't want you to feel like you're all alone, so I'm going to sleep in here with you. That's the kind of amazing soul that she is. And she slept in my bed for quite a while so that I wouldn't feel like I was alone. She was amazing. It wasn't that she really wanted to be there so much. It was that she knew that I needed somebody beside me. We are all such amazing souls. You know, like we have these massive hearts that just want to reach out and help all the time and take care of everybody and do for other people all the time. I know you. I know you. I'm looking at you in the eyes and I'm telling you, I know, being an empath, I know what you're made of. You're the type of person that'll go in the burning building. You're the type of person that will sacrifice your own needs for the needs of someone else. So I'm just here to remind you today to look in the mirror. Stop sacrificing yourself. It's okay to put that oxygen mask on yourself first. Not only is it okay, it's necessary. This world is demanding more and more and more of us. We came here to do this, and we can't really do this if we're not taking care of ourselves. So I hope you're hearing me today. That's the message Kuan Yin wanted to bring forth today, is you are in divine timing, that you are perfectly perfect, just exactly the way that you are. You do not need to try to change to please everyone else. You do not need to try to be somebody else. Just be you. Be you and know how amazing you are. Know that you came here for something really, really incredible, and just sit in that for a while. Instead of listening to all those other voices, could you just be still and listen to your own perfect higher self come in and say, you are perfectly perfect, just exactly where you are, right on your path, doing your purpose, breathing. Just by breathing, you're making the world a better place. You are holding the light for the rest of the world. You're holding this beautiful, can't even describe it, this energy that lifts the vibration of the planet just by being. And everything else that you do is just frosting on that cake. You are already the cake. You don't really need the frosting, but you'll do the frosting because you're so amazing. You'll do all these other things. But first, before you do all those other things today, I hope that you'll take a little bit of time for yourself. I hope that you'll spend some time in solitude remembering who you are and remembering that you are so important and so valued. And so when the angels, they honor you when they come in. When I do these meditations, they always come. Do you ever wonder why they always come when we gather? They don't do it because I'm just asking. They don't do it for, there's no ego. There's nothing like that. They do it because they are honoring all of us. Because they are so thankful and grateful for the fact that you, beautiful, perfect soul, came into a very imperfect body, and you are struggling through life, and you are going through suffering, and you are doing the best that you can with what you've got to work with. And they are thankful and grateful, and they're coming in to honor you, to wash your feet, to bring love, unconditional love, to bathe you in it. So let's do that. I want you to experience that, okay? Hi, Angel. Hi, Laura. Let's see. Anybody else? I think I already said hi to Laura, but thank you for popping in. It's a nice little group. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up again today. Thank you for sticking around. Sometimes I get hyper emotional. I apologize. It's a very emotional time in the universe right now. There's so much releasing. Tears are just a washing. Like, to me, it's a cleansing. It's a way of releasing that pent-up energy, and sometimes we just got to do it. So don't be afraid of it. Let that emotion show. Let yourself just be without having to try to cover it up. We all have covered up itis, don't we? We've all been taught to hide it, haven't we? We've been taught to just try to be strong. You got to be strong, especially if you're male, but females too. A single mom here, 6 kids. Got to be strong all the time. Don't want anybody to see your emotion. Don't want anybody to see you're hurting. Do you know what I realized when I was going through that loss of Steve is that I was often hiding. I didn't let the kids see how much pain I was in. I would go in the bathroom and I would hide for 2 hours. And I would curl in that fetal position. I would cry and I would hold it. And even when he was sick, I didn't want him to see how much I was hurting. I would run to that bathroom even when he was still alive. I remember one time he followed me right in there. Like, oh no, you're not going to run away from me. And he just came in and held me and let me cry. Here's the thing, when we hide our emotions from people, it took months for me to finally say, you know what, I'm not helping my daughters, I'm not helping my sons by pretending that this doesn't hurt. They learned how to pretend that things don't hurt. They bottle up their emotions because I bottled up my emotions. So it's okay that kids see us hurting. It's not only okay, it's good. It's needed. They need to know that it's okay that they can express their emotions. It's okay to have a good temper tantrum. Let them just do it. If you don't want to watch it, just take them to the room. Let them have that good temper. Let them work that energy out of their bodies. Because when we teach our kids to bottle it all up, it gets stored. And then they turn into versions of us, right? They're walking around, they get all these little wounds inside of themselves. And they bury themselves, their true selves, within all of that. That little child is just hidden behind all of those blocks that they've put up, that we have put up too. We're in there somewhere. And then it's such a job to unbury, to knock down those walls, and to be our true selves again. Do we really want our children to go through those struggles, or do we want to allow them to go ahead? There's a reason why they're having that temper tantrum. There's a reason why they're crying, and it may not make sense to us, but it makes perfect sense in their little way of thinking. And they need to let that go. They need to be allowed to just release that energy so that they can move forth. Kids are coming in a lot more advanced than we are. We had a struggle. We're just hypersensitive people walking around the planet, and we've really struggled with our sensitivity. And we have been told to bottle it up. We've been told not to let it show. Don't you cry. Don't you get mad. Don't you. Oh my gosh, my biggest lesson in life as a child was not to show my emotions, because if I did, I was in trouble. So look at me now. I sit here in front of all you and I'm crying in front of you because I've had to learn how to, and I'm still working on it. It's a total work in progress. So it's okay. I guess that's all I'm saying is, in all that self-love that you're learning to give yourself, it's okay. If you feel the need to cry, it's okay. If you feel the need to yell and scream, be angry if you need to. There's nothing wrong with anger. Anger brings us power. If we deny ourselves the anger, we're giving away our power. When you're really, really hurt, or you're really, really sad, and you're sitting there, and you got nothing left, and you're just weak, and you just want to cry, you're in that space where you don't really have a lot of power, and then suddenly the anger comes up, and you're like, where's that coming from? Where's this anger coming from? I'm supposed to be perfect. I can't let anybody see my anger. And the anger is the thing that pushes you back up and moving again. It's powerful. It's a powerful emotion. It gets you back up. It pushes you into motion. It's powerful. So please, there are no wrong emotions. You need to feel, you need permission. Give yourself permission to cry when you need to. Give yourself permission to be angry. Give yourself permission. If you don't need to go out and take it out on the world. That's what makes it something wrong. Don't take it out on somebody. But if you got to sit down and rip up paper, if you got to go out on the top of a mountain and yell really loud, if you got to, whatever you got to do. I take out my anger when I start cleaning the house. And man, do I clean when I get angry. So please find your way. But don't shove it back down. Don't let it become that thing that creates disease in your body. Because that's what happens. We shove the anger back in there. It lodges itself in the liver. The liver is the angry one. And it stays there until someday it comes out in disease. It shows itself. We have grief and it lodges itself in our lungs. And someday we end up with some kind of lung disease. Cancer starts eating away at us, or some other kind of disease. Whatever it might be, we get afraid and it goes to our kidneys. You know, they know this. They've mapped it in the brain. They know it. So the emotions are powerful and they're a part of who you are. And when you first feel them here, they need to be expressed so they can be released before they get down into the body. So, not sure where all that came from. Somebody here needs to hear that. Let's please give ourselves permission to feel, to express those emotions, to let them out, to let them, if somebody has done you wrong, you can tell them. You don't need to beat them up over it, but you can say, hey, that really hurt. You can't force their reaction. They're going to react the way they're going to react, but it makes you feel better to let that stuff out, doesn't it? And it helps you to talk to your body, and it helps you to work your way through these things. And it helps to say, hey, I'm sorry. Maybe I don't even feel like it's my fault, but somebody got hurt because of something I said. I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I did hurt you, and I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? You are responsible for your inner work. Don't bypass that. Don't take it to a place of, I'm not allowed to feel this. If I feel this, I'm going to get in trouble. If I feel this, somebody will judge me. If I feel this, hold on. If I feel this, I'll pour water all down my chin. Hear yourself. Let yourself. Sometimes talking to ourselves when we can't get that other person to really hear us. Sometimes just whatever it takes. So self-love. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Release those emotions. I would love to share the world with you for a lot longer. So please take good care of yourself and express that stuff and let yourself heal. Don't keep it stuck down inside until it causes diseases. I feel I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, Laura, that's really, really, I think both sexes do that. But I think women have this thing where we've been taught for such a long time. Men have been taught to cover their emotions, for sure. You don't want to appear weak. Women, man, we don't. We think that if we show how we feel to other people, that it lets them see our weakness, or we think that we will get, like, if you think back to a long time ago, if you showed any weakness, think tribal, think way back. You showed weakness, you might have gotten left behind. You know, you were that one that if you went with them, you were going to pull them back and they all might die, so they would leave you behind. These ways, these knee-jerk reactions, these gut reactions that we have, they go so far back. The ego takes it so far back, all the way to the beginning of us walking the planet. We aren't that anymore. It's okay to show your weakness. It's not true anymore. That's a long way back, and the ego needs to release that knee-jerk reaction. It needs to be calmed. It needs to be taught. It needs to be rewired to handle life differently. And the way that we rewire it is that we allow ourselves. We look deeply inside of ourselves and go, oh, what is it? What is it? Why does this one thing keep triggering me? Why do I keep reacting the way that I'm reacting? Why does this hurt? Why do I get really, really sad at night? Why do I, okay. There's a pain there that needs to be resolved. There's something that I haven't healed. It's still lodged inside of me someplace, and I need to let it go. So It's all powerful work. Seems silly, doesn't it? It's such powerful work. It'll keep you here on the planet. I promise. That cancer that you would have gotten because you kept it lodged inside of your body then releases and comes into healing. They've proven that. It's science. So it's worth the work. Don't bottle it. Let me be your little reminder in your head next time, Laura, when you start saying, oh, no, I can't show that emotion. I got to shove that back down in. If you shove it down in, take it from someone who watched a 52-year-old man die in 6 weeks from cancer. It turns into a monster. It might be just a little bitty, it's a little baby monster at first. It's just a little tiny thing that can be resolved easily. And yet we keep shoving it down and shoving it down, shoving it down, and afraid to express it and afraid to let it out. And then pretty soon, I watched that man go through so much with his ex. I watched her treat him so poorly in front of their children. I saw all that, and I didn't even see what it was like in their marriage. So I watched that for such a long time, and it used to really bother me. I was like, wow, I can't believe that she's talking to such a sweet person like that. And he would never let it come out. He might yell at his computer sometimes. He might yell at his lawnmower. He never allowed himself to show anger towards his children's mother in any way. He just bottled it. The kids never knew the kind of abuse that he experienced from her. They never really saw the truth. I don't know. We all have to figure out how we're going to deal with it in our own way, but stopped up emotions cause disease. It's proven. So if you're still bottling stuff, start finding a way to express it. If you need some help learning how to release those negative energies, you look up somebody. I can do it. There's many people that do energy work like that. You start working with them so that you can start unraveling all of those pieces inside of you that are all tied up in knots that are keeping you from your fullness, keeping you from who you could possibly be, all that greatness. They're just stopped up inside of you. You know how beautiful it is when it starts to release? Gosh dang, that's when you find your bliss. That's when you find that true purpose. That's when you really start living. So I'm not going to harp on this all day. It really is worth it. The work is worth it. Rebecca, thank you. I cry very easily, yeah. I was disciplined for it as a child, me too. I could not show my emotions. I found out as an adult I am a highly sensitive empath. It's me too, sister. I was in therapy for being overly emotional. My doctor said just think of it. Let me see. Hold on. I can see if I put these dirty glasses on. My doctor said just think of it. The sensitivity is inconvenient. Now I see it's a blessing, not a curse. It's exactly our sensitivity. You know, it's actually a superpower. But we've been taught when we were little children that it was weakness, that we weren't allowed. It made people uncomfortable. That's really why we were told to stop it up. It makes people uncomfortable when we cry. Isn't that crazy? That we can laugh and people think it's great. You go ahead and do something funny and everybody's laughing with you. Something happens and you're sad and you cry, everybody just turns and walks away. They're like, ooh, I don't want anything part of that. You get really angry. They're like, whoa, watch out for that. You know, we have such judgment in our emotions. Don't judge your emotions. Whatever you're feeling is important to feel. You can't heal it. I'll say this a million times. I need to print this on my forehead. You can't heal it if you don't feel it. You have to let it come up, and it's okay. I promise you're strong enough to really deal with it. Take it in baby bites if you have to, but allow it to come up so that it doesn't create disease. It doesn't stay in there and just fester and make you, it's going to come up anyway. It comes up in its own way. It's always going to manifest in one way or another. It's manifesting in a life that seems like it just never goes anywhere. You're just really stuck, or you keep having things happen and you're like, why does all this negative stuff keep happening to me? You're carrying around negative energy. You're attracting negative energy. You let go, you start to release that negative energy. You fill it with something beautiful, something you love. You create open space, and then you're like, oh, I got this thing I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano. I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. I want to learn to paint. I want to go roller skating. I don't know what you want to do. I want to go climb a mountain. Well, all that new space that you've got, you can fill it with something you really love. Wouldn't it be nice to just know that all those little parts inside of you are just filled up with something that you really love? That everywhere you go, you just got this love energy that goes everywhere, and it just touches everyone around you. They're like, wow, your energy's different. You look so much younger. What is it about you? You know, you're so different than the person I knew when you were younger. And it's because you just get into that space where you've released, you've done the work. It just keeps coming up. And as it does, your energy changes. It shifts into a higher frequency. And people sense it. They feel it. They may not understand it. Some of them may go, oh, you're weird these days. And others are going to go, wow, I don't know. They might at first say that you're weird. And then they go, okay, I've watched you. At first it felt weird, and now I wonder where you're coming from. Where'd you get all that beautiful energy? Show me how you did it. And then you get the opportunity to help them. So it's what it's all about. We're here because we're meant to be examples. We're meant to help other people. So we have to go through it. We have to experience it. We have to heal it so we can show other people how to do the same thing. So it's important. That's all I got. I've been talking a lot. Let's spend a little time in peace together, okay? Just for a few minutes if you'd like. We'll clear some of that heavy energy. We'll get some help from the angels. You can always call in help from the angels. I think I see, I don't know if I see Melanie or not, but I'm seeing somebody else there, so I don't know who it is. All right, you guys. You're so welcome. I'm right there with you. I think that tends to be a storyline that I hear a lot, Rebecca, is that empathic people, because we're so sensitive, because we cried easily when we were children, in so many ways we were shut down by teachers, parents, those who should have been just giving us comfort, taught us not to feel. So it's okay. I'm telling you now that it is okay to feel. Not only is it okay to feel, it's your superpower. You're a superhero. And I value your place on the planet, and I thank you for coming here and sharing the planet with me. We are doing some beautiful work here. Put your feet on the ground. Feel that energy if you can. Even if you're sitting inside, we're going to use our imaginations as little children. Bring out your child now. That child wants to come out to play. See yourself as a little one, and you're sitting at a playground, and there's green grass under your feet, and it feels so good. The earth is cool, the grass is soft, and as you're standing there in that grass, your roots come out the bottom of your feet, and they're just stretching down into the earth. If we could all just see those roots when we stand on the bare earth, we do it more often. And as you're standing there, the earth is grounding you. You're just rooted to that spot. For just a little while, you're rooted there in that beautiful green grass. What games did you like to play when you were little like that? I loved to go to the playground. When I was little, I remember a playground, one of my favorite ones that had these wooden ships. I love ships. I love anything nautical. I think I was a pirate in a past life. And so I would go to that playground and I would pretend that was my pirate ship. Let's go to that playground. Go there with me now. We were good pirates. We were happy pirates. We didn't do anything naughty. There's these bridges on this playground. They are like these wood beams all chained together. So you climb up these little stairs. They go around like a castle turret. And when you get up to the top, you can run across that bridge and you hear the sound of those wood beams, boom, boom, and the chains jingle, 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 jingle as you go. And you run across and you get to the other side. And maybe there's a rope swing. Maybe there's a pole that you can slide down. Where would you like to play today? Let that little one just go crazy. There might be a tire swing to spin around in. If you get in that tire swing, I'll give you a good spin. Maybe you want to do a regular swing and swing all the way up to the sky. What did you love to do? What is that little child enjoying the most right now? Maybe you just want to go lay in the grass and just feel that cool earth under your skin. Looking up at the clouds and seeing those beautiful creatures in the clouds. I know you can see shapes if you look for them. Maybe you'll make a little crown for your head out of the flowers, stringing them together. Maybe you like the sandbox. I used to like to play with cars in the sandbox. I'm such a tomboy. I loved to get dirty when I was little. I loved dirt. Playing in the dirt. I know it was my need to ground my energy that pulled me to that sandbox, just like it pulled you. Mud pies, whatever you'd like to create. Just be a little one for a few minutes. Calling in Archangel Michael to protect each one of us. He's always been there. I just got that assurance, and I'm always there. He's always right there waiting for you to ask. Monkey bars. I love monkey bars. There was a monkey bar that looked like there was a little, I guess you call it monkey bars, but there was a thing there, metal monkey bars, and it was the shape of a spaceship. Another fun thing to play around in. Going into outer space. Just enjoy this time of peace. You are fully protected. Archangel Michael is wrapping each one of you in a beautiful layer of protection. There is no way that you can possibly get hurt on this playground or in life. You are fully, completely protected right now. Feel that energy come in. Take a big breath. Beautiful. Lovely. Love that energy. And then as we're sitting here, your higher self comes in, fills in the space. It's a beautiful time. It's like your higher self goes out and hangs out with your little one on the playground. So that higher self comes along and just gives your little child a big hug, guiding you around, showing you all the fun stuff, pushing you on the swings, being that parent to your little one. The one that was just always needed when you were a child. If you fall or if anything upsets you, that higher self comes in to comfort you. And just enjoy for a few minutes. I feel the wind on my face. I used to love to swing so high. I'm on the swings. Maybe I'd like to fly into the sky this time. So as I get up really high, I just let go. And instead of coming back down to earth, I just fly. I spread my arms, and they become wings. And I'm flying through the sky, just gliding on the wind. Birds pass me by as I go higher and higher and higher into the sky, just flapping my wings, enjoying that wind on my face, enjoying that sense of freedom. Nothing holding me back, nothing pulling me down. Join me in the sky if you'd like. You have wings too. And as we flap, flap, flap those wings, we go wherever we'd like. You can land in a tree and talk to the birds. You can fly so high you're circling the moon. Whatever you'd like. And breathe nice and easy, calling in Archangel Raphael for any healing. Archangel Michael severing any cords, attachments, anything that's holding you back, any old emotions that are ready to be released. Just give permission, and Archangel Raphael comes in and starts to lift them away. He's got a whole team of angels working with him. And they start to clean house, taking away all that old stuff that's no longer serving you. If the lessons are learned, you can release that old energy. You don't need to keep playing in it. Let it go. It lets you lift up higher up the ground. Makes you find that bliss. Take a big breath from the tips of your toes and pull it all the way up and into your spine and all the way up to your crown. A huge breath right now, pulling it up that earth energy all the way through you. You can feel it moving all the way up to the crown, coming out your head like a big, beautiful rainbow. That's you. Amazing soul. There's a spot now, if you go, there's a very, very reflective lake. And you're out flying, and I want you to scoop down and just land right beside that lake. And when you land, I want you to look at yourself in the water. That's not the person you're used to seeing, is it? That's your most amazing self, that inner child, that powerhouse, that higher self. The part of you that has always existed is looking back at you with the most beautiful eyes that are filled with unconditional love. Just take it in for a minute. Look at you. Why do you keep giving yourself such a hard time? Look at your truth. You're amazing. There's nobody that's better, more beautiful, more deserving than you are. Enjoy that. Enjoy that sense of beauty, that sense of peace, that strength. The miracle that you are for just a moment. See yourself being held. Who is it that's holding you? It might be Jesus. It might be angels. It might be a loved one. As you're looking at yourself in the reflection, someone comes up to you and holds on to you and gives you the strength that you need to remember who you really are. Energy just shifting beautifully. You guys are doing such an amazing job. Feel that, breathe it into your lungs, that sense of peace, that strength, that unconditional love, the sense of, wow, I am deserving. You need to find this for yourself. And they're here to show you the way. So beautiful. Take in that energy, and as you do, there's a rewiring taking place, an upgrade. They're bringing that in right now. I just got that. So take a big breath and let them do a little upgrade on your operating system right now. Take a big breath. Releasing those things that no longer serve you. Old belief patterns, lies that you've been told, old energy, stagnant energy, stopped up energy. Taking a big breath and just let it all go. Pull it all in and then just blow hard and let it go. Let it go. Done with that stuff. Let them take it away. They'll take it and recycle it, and they bring it right back to you. You don't lose the love. You don't lose the beautiful memories. You're only losing those things that are holding you back. Keep breathing. Beautiful love energy coming to the heart. Take a big breath. Fill it up. Fill up that beautiful well behind your heart. Just fill it right up with all of this love. You get to take it with you. It's almost like they got this watering can and they're pouring it right in, filling up your heart right now. Cleansing that auric space all around you. And then as they do, Archangel Michael just comes and puts a seal all the way around you, holding it in, allowing you to feel whole and complete and in complete and total bliss. Remembering who you are. This is who you are. This is what it's like to feel centered and grounded. Feel your truth as much as you possibly can while still in physical form. And take one more big breath. Pull it all the way up. And as you're doing it, pull those roots back into your feet. All recycled, cleansed, clear, whole in your bliss. Pulling it all the way in. Trusting that it'll stay right there with you today. Nothing goes in and nothing goes out of your bubble without your permission. So we're asking that only love come in today and only love go out in equal measure. Beautiful. And as you start to come back into your physical, we're thanking all the angels. Thank you to the Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Jesus, who else came in? Saint Germain, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and all your higher selves for sure. And to all those little children that came in, thank you so much for joining me. You are all wrapped up like a beautiful gift today. Very beautiful. Thank you to the angels, to the guides, to the loved ones that showed up. Thank you so much. Wow, that was beautiful. So as you're coming back into physical, you're feeling your feet, you're feeling your hands, you're opening up those eyes, moving your shoulders, feeling like a brand new being. Take a big breath like a brand new baby. Today is a brand new day. You're all new again today. You've been refreshed and cleansed, and you are brand new. You can start the day fresh. Let go of all that old stuff. Don't let it come back up to haunt you. It's gone. It's gone. You get to start new today. Brand new babies. Thank you so much. Hi, Julie Kiss. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will see you. If you want to pass this around, please share it out. I do a little bit of sharing, but if you want to pass it around for loved ones to be able to have that clearing, have that long lecture I gave. I love you guys so much. Please take good care of yourselves. Oh, it's already almost 1 o'clock. 3:33. Cheryl-Ann and I will be here. I think Carol's at her daughter's house, but Carol's going to try to pop in too. So at 3:33 today, Silent Mystics. So that's only 2.5 hours away. So I hope that you'll join me. Take good care of yourselves today. I love you guys so much. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.